Hey everyone, this is Scott Gallagher here. We're just about going to get ready to get started on our webinar. This is a really exciting webinar. This is something that we've been working on for a long time, and friends of ours, Jeff Walker and his team, have the product launch formula. A lot of you have seen that and know a lot about that and how that works for the online market space, but we're going to be talking about how to create a sales funnel with automated leads coming in for your local internet marketing agency today. It's very, very exciting to get this presentation going. But before we get started, I just want to ensure that everything's good to go at our end here. We're going to get started in about 60 seconds. As I see right now, we've got quite a few people on the line, and you guys have got the opportunity to chat with me during this presentation, so you can see the chat box. Why don't you, some of you share with where you're at? We've got a lot of people. We're almost going to hit our capacity here in terms of registration for GoToWebinar. It was exciting. Let's see where we've got different. You've also got a questions box as well that you can go ahead and answer. We do have some questions that people are asking right now. We've got Gil from Brooklyn and CJ from Raleigh. Simon, how you doing? Simon James from the UK. Richard's from Greenville. Hey, Terry over at Houston. Eric's, hey, nice to see you as well. And oh man, Jit, I think his name is, from London. Hey, Daryl over in Vancouver. That's got to be one of my favorite cities. You may know I'm originally from Ontario myself. John, I can't even pronounce where you're from, but that's Germany. Mönchengladbach. Calvin from Vancouver as well. Ben from Fort Worth. Joe from Toledo. Christine, hey, from Toronto. I spent some time, 6 years in Toronto. I was originally, gosh, where was I? I was in Leaside, and that's Bayview and Eglinton. Or is it Islington? Bayview and Eglinton it was. Yeah, that's it. Manjit, I'm glad I pronounced your name right. Well, that's good. Hey, Wisconsin, Aubrey, how you doing, man? Robert, gosh, we got North York. That's where Christine's from. That would be Young Street and 401, I guess. Yeah, that's a really nice area. That place has really developed over the years. I mean, the economy in Canada is doing much better than the United States, but nonetheless. But let's get going with this presentation. We've got a lot of people here on this call. This is really, really good. And my Mac, you know, I'm a Mac user now, and I love it, but it still tends to do certain things differently. So, you know, with Apple, how does Apple launch their phone? Well, they do a series of sequences to create a demand over a period of time with some education, and ultimately, you know, when we start talking about nested loops and whatnot, they're creating the demand for their users and creating scarcity in different ways. Well, that follows what the product launch formula essentially is. Now, before we get into that, a lot of you may know who I am. Most of you should know who Jeff Walker is, but if you don't know who I am, first off, I'm a father and an author. Those are my real passions. And an adrenalist. I just love to do things like snowboarding in the wintertime, a lot of different summer sports as well. I did spend a lot of money on a degree back in 2000. It's a specialty in marketing. And then I came on to form, which was called CCS. That was my first internet marketing agency in 2005. In 2009, got good at SEO, founded Naparex, a national delivery company that offers same-day delivery. That company has done fairly well over the years, and to date has moved almost 9,000 packages. And when I started to write, I really had people that wanted to hear what I had to say, and that's where Local Marketing Source was founded. That's my real passion. That's what has brought you here today. And that company is now 3 years old. And I have got different products on the market for it and a variety of different students, and just love what I do. We provide a lot of different content in terms of free education that's out there. And of course, I mean, there's a business model behind it. Let's face it. My job is to do the same thing that I predicate, and that's to earn the right to your business. The same thing that I do in my agency today. And we're going to take a look at One Marketing and how I still run that on a day-to-day basis. And so I love to do speaking events, and I've spoken at different industry events, national events, and of course, I'm a graduate of Jeff Walker's PLF program. And now, Jeff is friends of ours at Local Marketing Source. He's got quite the operation in Colorado. We noticed there was somebody here from Colorado. That's where Jeff is located. And he was just recently, well, we'll see, in Forbes magazine. But we're going to talk about what is this product launch formula. I'm not here to sell you on this, but I am here to tell you about it and how it is applied and how I use it in my agency. So with that, we're going to have to take a look at the product launch blueprint, how it works and how it's going to apply and whatnot. Of course, get into some strategy, some of the mental triggers that are involved during this strategy, the different launch sequences that we're going to utilize in this agency. We're looking at the evergreen launch. That's going to make sense by the end of this presentation. The different offers that you're going to offer. Are you going out selling your $1,000 a month service? How are you going to do that in an automated way? Well, the answer is you're not. So what is the offer going to be when your objective is to earn $1,000 a month or whatever it may be? And then that leads us to a local launch. The different resources that you're going to want to take a look at, where you can get some resources, how you can build some resources, whether you're on a budget, you've got some skills, you may not have skills, and then of course the local internet marketing agency product launch blueprint, the way we do it at Local Marketing Source. All right, let's get going. So what is the product launch formula? Well, Jeff Walker, a friend of ours, was just recently written about in Forbes magazine. If you don't know who Forbes is, it's a very mainstream magazine, probably one of the most acclaimed business magazines on the market. This was the #4 trending article last week. And essentially you can see Jeff with Tony Robbins, and he's being proclaimed by Forbes as the $400 million man. Well, that $400 million comes from the product launch formula that we're talking about today. Point being, guys, it works. It's a really good system. Now, the product launch formula has generated over $400 million in product launches since 2005, and it can be applied to almost every market that's out there. Today we're talking about selling local internet marketing services. It's been used around the world in, gosh, so many different countries, from Europe to the UK. It's being used in Asia, Africa, South and Central America, Australia, New Zealand, and of course my home country, Canada, where I live now, the United States, and even Mexico. So the process of how we're going to apply PLF today is we are going to take a cold lead through an automated process to have them essentially asking for your proposal or your services. Okay. Now, there's a thing called the product launch blueprint. If you don't have this, you can download this blueprint for free. It's a PDF put out by Jeff, and it is something that you don't need to get it right now. You can get it after the presentation. Just pull out your pen and paper and write this link down, bit.ly/LMSPLF. It's a PDF that you're going to download. It's a great thing to print up and take a look at. We are talking a little bit about it today. If you do have it with you, pull it out. And that's essentially one of the pages in the blueprint. That's the mind map of the product launch. And so we're going to take the concepts of how Jeff has put that together, which works with all of these other businesses, and talk about exactly how it works for a local internet marketing agency. And so we're going to cover items such as the strategy, the different types of launches. Now, not all the launches are going to apply to us. We're going to dissect what's important for us and what's not important, and how this formula works for our business, because we're not actually going to be selling a service through the product launch formula. We are selling the right to have a meeting with a qualified prospect that is already educated and already hungry to meet with you and understands the value and the benefits of the services. The resources that are going to be important to you to utilize, what you absolutely need, what you can use to offer additional benefits to your formula, and then of course the different tactics that are involved, the mental triggers, the offer, the sequences. So again, there's that link, bit.ly/LMSPLF. Okay. Let's take a look at the strategy here. First off, this is just going through the blueprint. I'm going to spend about 20 or 30 minutes here just covering the blueprint, talking a little bit about how it applies to a local internet marketing agency, and then I'm going to show you mapped out our strategy, exactly how it works to different resources that we've created to earn the right to the dentists and the chiropractors and the attorneys and the delivery companies and the plumbers and the electricians and locksmiths and all the different local businesses that exist that's out there. In any event, when we start to take a look at the strategy here, one thing about internet marketing, it all comes down to your list. I mean, whether you're dealing with a local internet marketing agency and how you're getting those leads. I mean, there was times that I was going out to industry events and putting a little fishbowl out and offering a free camera, and then they'd give me their business cards. And I put a value of $247 on each email address that we get when we were doing those trade shows. I mean, it would cost me $5 grand, $6 grand to go to a trade show, and then I would get, you know, perhaps say 100 email addresses for that event and then close 5 or 6 clients, and then we start to evaluate the value of the clients versus the expense to be able to get there. We could determine the value for each of the email addresses that we acquired, and that number comes down to $247. So for my local internet marketing agency, for a highly qualified prospect email, I would pay that kind of money. I put a lot of time and effort into creating our list and building relationships with our list for the agency. Obviously, that's a part of a strategy. And so with PLF, they talk about different ways to be able to, you know, build a great list and how to build a relationship with your list. And of course, a lot of that's online. There are strategies that work and don't work in the offline world. And you got to think about a business owner a little bit differently than you do with an online entrepreneur aspiring to get a product. Build a offer. And what are we talking about with an offer for a local internet marketing agency? I mean, are these people willing to hand over their credit card electronically without ever meeting with you, or is your goal to get in the door? What is the offer? How are you going to get in the door? And therefore, identifying that sales message and clearly explaining what your objective is, not to sell, but to earn the right to their business. As we go through the strategy, you identify that there's no single point of failure. That means that you've got multiple inputs with multiple outputs and multiple channels, that if something's not working, you're still generating leads and still generating prospects. And launch stacking is an interesting strategy. So as you go from launch to launch, or as your list grows, your positioning grows, and your experience ultimately grows. And that's the entire goal. Okay, so the different types of launches. You've got your quick launch. You've got your, they talk about a seed launch, an internal launch. Now, a JV launch is something that's relatively important for local internet marketing agency. We talked about that. How to identify JVs. These are joint ventures. You could think about a local internet marketing agency to have joint ventures like your local chamber of commerce, different associations, national associations. If you're dealing with chiropractors, there's a variety of different associations that's out there. What about companies down the street, maybe credit card processing or local banks? Different e-commerce launches, obviously not important for us. Rolling launches, that's a sequential JV launch. That does roll into the evergreen that we're going to see in a few moments. An affiliate launch, very similar to a JV launch. Affiliates are a little bit different than JVs. And different ways to manage them. Of course, relaunching your service, and then evergreen. This is ongoing. This is a rolling launch of an evergreen sales funnel. And this is to turn your one-time launch into a profitable automated system. It's a perpetual launch sequence for generating new leads, and it's a very, very powerful business model. Now, just going and having a quick overview of different resources that are important. You absolutely need to be able to have a blog, utilize WordPress for that. We're going to talk about different things of squeeze pages. These are just opt-in pages to be able to get an opt-in for your agency. We offer a free report. I'm going to show you that report in a moment. The report's relatively easy to create. You're going to need email list hosting. Now, I use Infusionsoft. for both my agency, and you don't need to go to that degree. You can utilize a free product like Zoho, Constant Contact. Aweber is probably one of your best, least expensive choices. Video hosting, we use Amazon S3. Again, that's a paid solution. It's okay to utilize the free solutions like YouTube that are out there, but you need some sort of solution for that. Web hosting, same thing. Simple GoDaddy. For my agency, by the way, we're a reseller of GoDaddy. We mark our prices up significantly for our clients. You know, if they're going to spend $5 a month for hosting directly through GoDaddy, we'll buy it through GoDaddy for $4 and sell it for $20 a month. Not that I'm in the business of making profit from that, but we offer good value to our clients, and they don't seem to push that back. The real payday, though, is when you get somebody to purchase 5 years ahead of time. And the value that you give the client is they can call you directly rather than having to deal with a big company like GoDaddy. Video creation, these are skills that you are going to want to learn, at least from a management standpoint, whether you're running a Mac, different Windows, and in the PLF they talk about the different equipment that's important. Audio creation, webinars and teleseminars. As a matter of fact, I'm doing a webinar at 3 o'clock Central today. You may want to go and take a look at it. It's for my local internet marketing agency. It's utilizing a system that we've generated dozens of different sign-ups. These are local business owners, local doctors. They're going to be attending. You can come and check it out. We are selling the opportunity to meet with these doctors to be able to give them a proposal. We're right up front about our services. We're right up front about how we're going to charge these individuals and whatnot. So if you want to see this system, the end result of this system that I'm going to show you a little bit later, work actually in action. I mean, I just don't teach concepts. I've been running this for a year and a half, working on it very, very hard, working closely with the Jeff. It's revolutionary in my opinion. It's a lead generation system for business-to-business sales. It's fantastic. Of course, you're going to need some solution for file sharing. We use Dropbox. It's just fantastic, really. Different team collaboration, whether you're using Skype or Google Docs. You'll be able to exchange files, and of course, different surveys. We use SurveyMonkey.com. Merchant account, something that you're going to need. I use Intuit as well as Sage, depending on the different business, and just some sort of printing and whatnot. But that's a quick overview of the resources, quick overview of mental triggers that we're going to talk about once we start to see this sequence of how it works and the stories that are involved. How are you going to create your story of who you are? People buy from people. You've got to build a relationship. How do you create these stories? There's nothing that's more engaging than a good story. Reciprocity. You know, what are you going to give? You've got to give good stuff to people before you start to build a relationship with these individuals, before they buy from you. You've got to be able to give good value to individuals. You don't think that's not my objective today? Let's face it. It clearly is. I want to be able to build relationships with qualified prospects for local marketing source that I, in turn, could have a business relationship in the future that we're both happy. Well, that's how I work with my agency. And when I work with my local clients, I want to dip into their pocket month after month after month for years to come. When I look at my client list and those clients that have been paying me for 5 years, I haven't personally been involved with them for 4.5, but I've been profiting from them for 5 years. Different events and event-based, and people love events. They like the feeling that they're part of something a lot larger than themselves, and how to create that event with anticipation. You know, a few things really capture our attention and our imagination more than anticipation. How to demonstrate social proof, even if you don't have any social proof. People look for clues on how to act with social proof. And if you can show your prospects that they're not alone, then you win. And then give them proof that your stuff, that what you're going to provide them works. We know local internet marketing strategies work. Prove it to them. Create a community. You know, we act like we think people are in a community are supposed to act. You know, virtual communities are very, very strong in how to create that. The interaction or the conversation, you know, people would rather talk then listen. Well, they say sales is 80% listening. It's true. Scarcity. How to identify that level of scarcity? I mean, if you're the best in your niche, in your area, I hope you're going to achieve or strive to achieve number 1 or number 2 for your clients. And when we talk about the offer, and when Jeff talks about the offer, what's offer that's very different is through utilizing this strategy, we're not selling services that cost anything, utilizing this entire system. Our goal, everything that we are selling, is to earn the right to a 15-minute meeting with them. If you can get in the door, you're way better off. If it's over the telephone, you're better off than a relationship via email. Why? Because according to Matsort, this is a survey, not a survey, a study that was done in 1963. It's widely used across many different businesses now. We know that there's 3 ways to influence human behavior. 1 is the words we say. 2 is how we say it, the tonality. And 3 is our physiology. And each of those 3 ways have a weight on how we can influence human behavior. Well, the words we say is only 7%. I want to go to the store. Or I want to go to the store. I just said 2 very different things using the same words, changing my tone. I don't have physiology going for me right now. But the fact is the words are 7%. The weight of your tonality is around 35, and your physiology is like 55. I know that doesn't add up to 100. I'm off by 2 percentage points. I think it's 37, 55, and something like that. I have to write this stuff down. But nonetheless, it's giving you a perspective, and that's you can go and check that out. It's a really, really good study. So the offer that we're offering here, you're only going to offer what your market really wants. Well, they need to understand. The biggest challenge that these industries are facing right now is that they're being slammed by an unregulated market space. They're being slammed by a variety of different spammers that are pricing their products and services from $200 a month up to $5,000 a month. They don't fully understand of how the value, how it translates into customer calls and patience. What are you going to offer them? So you want to tune your offer to feedback during this rolling launch. And what are they going to specifically get? I'm going to show you my system and show you what they get and how we accomplish all of these things and how they are going to get it with their bonuses and a guarantee. And then you define the offer. What markets are you going to go after and how you attack some of these markets. Of course, price points, we're talking about something that has no price at this point. Everybody likes that, right? But as you go through the system, you're spitting out all the unqualified leads. By the end of it, you are only getting highly qualified leads of people that are asking for your services. All right. We're not getting people dropping off this webinar. I got people staying on. That's usually a metric for me that things are going good. That's exciting. I can see lots of questions coming in. Both my guys have left me and walked out for a moment and to bring some food back. So when we get back, it's going to be some exciting questions as we manage through this. But now, I'd mentioned different sequences as you go through this launch. This had to be modified for the system. You're going to see how it's modified. But you've got your pre-launch. That's identifying a survey. That's just your one method to have a pre-launch and get some interest and understanding of your prospects. And then, of course, your pre-launch. You're going to create 3 to 5 pieces of pre-launch content and deliver value through this pre-launch. And then your launch is going to run from 1 to 7 days. Now, this is the PLF sequence. My sequence, as it falls in, is a total of 63 days that you're going to identify. The pre-launch is 1 to 7 days. You do get a variety of different content from that. And then the launch runs almost up to 14 days. The difference is through testing that we've identified is opt-out rates are a lot higher with local businesses. They're not as attuned to getting the email marketing messages that they're waiting for as our community is and what you guys are used to receiving from a company like mine, a local marketing source. We don't deliver that volume of communication through local businesses. And, of course, your post-launch and follow-up and how you're going to get that. Now, we talk about a relaunch. Since we're talking rolling launch, it's exciting. And then joint ventures. This is a critical piece of building this system. Okay, well, there you have it. You've taken a look at the product launch formula blueprint. That's what Jeff calls his $400 million plan. That's the formula that's been used by thousands of different PLF owners. And I really hope that this blueprint is going to be able to help you when you do get it. Now, once you do get that and you've studied that, this is why I think you are here. And we're going to take a look at the autoresponder email sequence for a local internet marketing agency. Now, the internet marketing equation is pretty simple. We know that we've got to drive qualified traffic. And with that traffic, we've got to convert that traffic. So taking a look at driving traffic. Here's just a few different ways now. This isn't all the different ways and their strategy with each one of those. You know, you can see email marketing and say, well, Scott, what if I don't have a list? Yeah, you're absolutely right. You see the postcard there? I'm going to show you this strategy in a little bit. This is brilliant. This is a really, really, really easy way for you to go out and get really highly qualified leads to get them into this funnel that you look at. The funnel is this conversion thing that you're looking at. So we have an opt-in, and that's going to be your opt-in page, and we're going to take a look at an opt-in page and how that works for this industry. Then you're going to generate an autoresponder sequence specific for different industries if you'd like, or you can have a general small business industry. I'm going to show you my email autoresponder sequence over 63 days. That email autoresponder sequence drives prospects to webinars. That webinar you can go and look at 3 p.m. today. That's 3 p.m. Central. I guess 4 p.m. Eastern, and how we sell this. And that drives everything that we do, drives everybody to the online analysis page. I'm going to show you that online analysis page. This is a page that finally, after we've gone through all of the sequences and driven them to everything, it's pretty complex when you see it. This is a real simplified version. But that online analysis gives us the right to be able to have 15, 30, or 60 minutes of time with a prospect that they're listening. They already understand the services. They understand the value. You've provided education. You've provided the social proof. You've done all of that. These guys are ready. In other words, in business-to-business sales, they say that you should have the prospect sold even before they ask for the price. That's what business-to-business sales books are truly going to tell you. If you come up with a price objection, you haven't done your job as a salesperson because you haven't shown value, period, point blank. Bottom line, go and ask sales managers that are in B sales that have, I mean, I've been in this business for 20 years. When I'm talking about Toronto, I did corporate sales on Bay Street. I was located at 655 Bay Street. It's a 14-story building. I mean, I was on the 14th floor. It's like a 50-story building in the corporate world, and that's what they teach. So once you've got driven people to the online analysis page, our conversion and opt-in rate's about 90% at that stage. From that stage, for every 3 people that we get signing up on that page, we end up closing 1. That's 30% closing rate. They're highly educated. Okay, so well, here's just a picture of when this autoresponder sequence was initially. I mean, it's cropped a lot. I'll never forget the 3 days that I sat staring at this thing, trying to build this autoresponder sequence and creating open loops and nested loops and creating my story and trying to understand it and get through it. And, you know, think of like a drama series on TV or soap operas. You know, they always have the cliffhanger, right? They always leave you hanging and wanting more. Well, that's because of anticipation. But people think more about what they want to know as opposed to thinking about what they already know, if that makes sense to you. So if you're going to tell everybody everything at one point in time and you've closed that series, they may not tune in next time. Well, that's why television and series work in that fashion. They create these things called open loops and nested loops. You know, an open loop, you don't end it. You may end it in email 3. You may end it in email 7. But with that story, and within that story, within that email, you could have an open and a closed loop. You may have an open loop from email 1 to email 2. But at the same time, the entire 63 days is also a story within itself. People love stories and they like to relate. So you've got to think about a little bit about your story, but we've been through this enough that we understand what types of stories work for the local business owners and how that works. And so, here's a look at, our 63-day sequence. And, the very first email that goes out, they opt in for a, top 10 PDF. I'll show you that PDF, how they opt in. Email 1, we're creating different credibility. We're relating to third-party statistics. We start to introduce the difference between organic and local searches, the IAM umbrella. We've thrown in a step-by-step analysis. You can see on email number 14 is the first time that we drive them to the analysis. They've already gone through, they've seen different video content for us. They've seen different ways to create this credibility. We've created different stories that are within here. Heck, you can go and see these stories yourself. You can opt in and see this yourself. And I mean, it's not going to work specifically for you because it's my story. And follow through with it. And so by the end, we had hoped that we have driven them enough value, enough education to drive them down a sequential series. And each one of these emails has got reason behind it and objective behind it of what we're trying to do, as well as story behind it. All right, so, the first email that goes out, this is something what it kind of looks like. This is our general small business list. It's not specific to any industry. When you can, I'm in the chiropractic industry, not because I'm a chiropractor, not because my sister's a chiropractor, because I'm a believer in it. I saw my wife that had a baby, my son that was, facing the wrong way, whatever medical terminology you want to say, and I had medical doctors that said you're going to have a C-section or an external version, and the nurses say an external version is more painful than a birth, and I'm just feeling the empathy for my wife, and we get educated on this thing called the Webster technique. Well, it basically removes the constraints of the baby. The baby automatically turns. The human body is amazing. We just allow the body to do what it wants. I saw it firsthand. My daughter would have nosebleeds every two to three a week. Once she started getting adjustments, she was down to 1 and 2 a year. I've seen it myself. I'm a firm believer in chiropractic care. I'm very passionate about that industry. That's why we focus on that industry. I share that story to chiropractors. Well, I can't share that story to a plumber. They're not going to relate to it. Here's my story for a general small business. And, one of my favorite lines, I use this almost overlooked perspective of internet marketing to get my companies #1 on Google almost every day. It's brilliant. I can't believe most people have not caught on to this. It really comes down to 2 simple words. Real. What is that? That's an open loop. I do close the loop at the end of the email as they start to go through it, and it's called real. Sorry, I think it's an email one. I'd have to look back. But real marketing. That's my perspective. We're not going to manipulate the search engines. We're not going to go and do a whole bunch of article marketing and do all these weird things to get a whole bunch of links to your website and rank you #1. No, we're in the business of real marketing. We create real content for our users. My guy tomorrow is, going out to our local Taekwondo shop, and we're filming. I've got a videographer. You can outsource that, and charge a client for it. But that's the type of stuff that you really got to, once you get to a different level. Whether you're going in and taking professional photos of the chiropractor's office, that's real marketing. That's another conversation. So we talked about different ways to drive traffic. I'm not here to talk about all the ways to drive traffic. I've got a webinar specifically on that, a free one, by the way. And well, heck, I've got a course that you could buy. It's less than $100. It's got like 7 hours of sales training. It's got all of my proposals that we use, all of this other stuff. Or you can go and build that stuff yourself. Watch the webinar and go and build it yourself. The webinar is free, by the way. We talk about something called my SEO sales trail. This is complementary to the SEO sales trail. But to be able to create different opt-in graphics that you can put, this opt-in graphic right here, we created and we put on Craigslist. It drives traffic through our funnel. By the time they're at the end of the funnel, we've squeezed out good leads through Craigslist. How hard is that? To be able to go and post this in different areas of Craigslist. there's a lot of different places that you can have opt-in graphics in different ways. Here's an opt-in graphic that we've created right on our site. You can get our top 10 report, what you get from it. It's just with an autoresponder to get the report. By the way, when you buy my sales kit, you also get this report that you can customize. Postcards. This, I think, is a long-lost method of lead generation. Cold calling. People hate cold calling. What is cold calling? You're actually picking up the phone and giving them a phone call, or you're showing up at their door, collecting their, what are you doing? So we came up with this strategy. We created a simple little postcard. That's my hometown that I'm in right now, Algonquin, Illinois. We've got them created for Chicago, Los Angeles, New York. We've got guys that we've found on Fiverr that are out handing these things to generate leads to get it into our funnel. It's easy, but on your own sense, you can go to the Business Depot, have a postcard created for 20 bucks, make it look like this, really easy. Take my line. I want to earn the right to your business. It's a brilliant line. On the back of that card, you go to the chiropractor's office, you write on it, I stopped by your office today and I noticed you were not #1 on Google. I'm in this business and I'd like to send you some information. Please take a look out for your email address. Boom. You leave them a card. That's it. Very unintrusive, right? When you go and hand it in, you ask the secretary, you say, I want to leave this postcard for the doctor here. You hand it to her upside down. You make sure she sees it's a professional postcard with a handwritten note, because that handwritten note goes a long way. The fact that you're in the office goes a long way. And you get their email address. You do that for 2, 3, 4 hours. You get yourself 25, 30 contacts. You get them into your sales funnel, and you run them through the sales funnel that we were talking about. Out of those 25 or 30 contacts, when they're direct contacts and you've gone face-to-face like that, you're going to get quite a few opt-ins. Okay, you're going to get 5, 6 appointments out of that. And these are people that have gone to a page, given you their information, and said, I want to meet with you at this date and this time. You confirm the appointment and meet with them. No cold calling, no picking up the phone, no nothing. It's an automated system. You have a little handwritten note. It's awesome. Different ways, forums, LinkedIn. Who's not using LinkedIn? Great way to find qualified leads. Joint ventures and social media or other ways as well. Now again, I'm not here to talk about all of these ways to drive traffic. Again, I could teach that through my webinar and spend an hour on that or more. Simple little report. You can go and take a look at the report. Another graphic. Here's an opt-in page. We're doing different testing with opt-in pages right now. And you know what seems to be working the best is a picture of, let's say, a beach with a single center opt-in. Webinar. Here's a little graphic for our webinar. And we do webinars once a month for our agency. My agency is called One Marketing, W-O-N Marketing. That's onemarketing.com. I told you I have a webinar today at 3 o'clock. It's once a month. It's live. Most of my audience on there is small businesses. When we go and look at the email addresses, you've got doctor this, doctor that, and we've driven traffic through the autoresponder sequence the same way that we've talked about here. These people just automatically sign up for our webinars. With this system in place, once a month, my guys, they go and do their stuff. All I do is I just fire up GoToWebinar at 3 o'clock. My presentation, I've done it before. It's already done. In theory, I could record that and automate that as well. But I like having live presentations, like this is live right now, because we have live Q&A after. If you're listening to a recording, you're not going to get the live Q&A after. You'll see during that webinar, if you do go and attend it today, the only thing we are selling is the right to that meeting and what they're going to get. And I'm going to show you what we give them during that meeting. Here's the opt-in page for that online analysis. I'm not showing you the full page, but you can see it. You can go and check it out yourself if you want. I'm not holding it back for anything. But the very first thing is, they'd see a short little video. Short video, less than 1.5 minutes, 68 seconds in this video is what they're going to get. Little short sales letter below it so they can read it if they happen to be readers. With a little opt-in form. Go to Zoho, free, with an offer. You know, basically the offer that these guys are going to get for their local business, so this is going to be a dentist or chiropractor, but we're going to do keyword research for them for their top keywords. You think, oh my God, that's, you know, you're going to do that for free? Well, yeah, we've got the process down where that takes very, very, very little amount of time. Once you start to understand local businesses and a couple little tools that are out there, boom, it's really, really easy to put together. This whole presentation, once they've signed up, we invest less than 15 minutes of our time to prepare all of this stuff. But we're going to give them an on-site page, or sorry, an on-site website report. This is something that we generate through brightlocal.com. It costs me like $1.50 through them to run a report through it, and they get a very, very extensive report. It identifies errors and problems and strategy. It's just an awesome, awesome report. It's branded with my logo on it. It's great. We give them competitive analysis. We start to look at their competitors and give them reason why their competitors are outranking them. It validates the reason of why they're not ranking very well. You're demonstrating credibility for yourself. I mean, the list goes on of what this offers. And then you give them specific steps, a guideline. Look, you can go and do this yourself. This is what we're going to do for you. We're going to go and create. If you go to Google right now and you typed in top 10 local SEO strategies, you're going to find my posts, #1. That's an open strategy. I mean, we tell our clients specifically what we're going to do. We tell them the 10 things that we're going to do. They can go and do it themselves. We'll even teach them. They can go and buy my course at Local Marketing Source that I go through everything in detail, all the 100 hours and stuff like that, and do it themselves. But we're trying to earn their business. And of all the years that I've been doing this, you know, it's probably 10 to 1. We probably have 10 clients that buy services for us that, in my situation, the one person wants to learn it themselves, and they'll go. I even have clients that have done both. But nonetheless. And then, of course, converting traffic. We're going to help our prospects on how to convert that traffic. I mean, this is a local business. We're going to have what we call an audience group analysis. That's segmenting their audience and understanding. It's no different. Like if you take two chiropractors that are side by side, they could have two very different audiences, just in the way they're positioned, the way they're branded, the services that they're offering, the value that they're offering, the benefit that they're offering their patients. And in turn, we're going to help identify the objective and then give them tips and suggestions on conversion of their website. Plain and simple, and in a system they can implement, like a review acquisition system. So they're going to get all of this here for free. We're going to put it together in a nice little package for them, and we say, here you go, Mr. Dentist and Mr. Chiropractor. Here's all the things that you should look at. Yeah, of course, we want to earn your business. We're going to give you, I can't give you a guarantee because I can't guarantee results, but I can give you a guarantee of my word, right? But what I can give you is predictable and consistent results and expectations. And truthfully, Mr. Dentist, if we don't meet or exceed your expectations, you better fire our ass really fast and go find somebody else, because this is what you should expect from an internet marketing company. For every 3 of these we do, we can bank on closing 1. We can bank on it. Easy. I mean, my closing rate, personal closing rate, by the way, is 58% with this system. When I'm telling you that your closing rate, you should bank on 30%, because that's following standard business-to-business sales, and that's what we have achieved with greenhorns, new people. The offer. I mean, the offer is your confirmed appointment. That's what you're selling at the end of the day. You know, you're going to do a business analysis to them, and then from there, your sales process starts. When I talk about the sales process, that's the SEO sales trail. Go and watch my free webinar. Go to my website, scott-gallagher.net. There's a little tab that says events. You can go and click on the free webinar, and we go through the sales process now. Once you've closed with the PLF that we're talking about here, you've built this system and you've generated the lead, you then can go through the sales process, regardless of where the lead comes from. If somebody says, hey, Scott, you know, my buddy wants to talk to you. Can you go? And I go and meet with him. SEO sales trail. I have a new customer or an existing customer that bought a website a couple of years ago and wants to learn about internet marketing, SEO Sales Trail. Whether you're upselling, cross-selling, or new prospects and you go to a trade show and somebody's sitting there in front of you, what are you following? SEO Sales Trail. Because you go through a process of identifying the pain, creating the pain, agitating the pain, and then providing relief. And of course, if you want the whole sales kit that goes along with that, I told you about that. That's like 97 bucks. You can go and look at it. You know, there's the link for it. Just go and check it out as to what you get. I'm not here to promote that. What I'm here to talk about is how the product launch formula works for lead generation. So go and get the PLF blueprint. There's your web address right now. Download that blueprint and look at it. And then start filling in the blanks of what you are going to create for your sequence. Watch the PLF offer in the sales video. Now, of course, this is where the sales pitch does theoretically come in. It's not for our product. It would be for Jeff Walker's local launch formula. He's launching today. The doors are opening today. This is the $400 million man. This is a product. I am a student. I paid full price for this course. We put one of our launch managers through Jeff Walker's $25,000 product launch formula manager program. This PLF is not $25,000, guys. It's not even close to that price. I paid the money, just like I bought other products that are out there. You know, when you go, I don't know if this is going to work. I didn't know Jeff at the time. You know, this was 2.5, 3 years ago. Well, 3 years ago, yeah, because we learned it. My business partner actually bought it for Local Marketing Source. I do all the education at Local Marketing Source from an agency perspective, and I've got people that sell, you know, my product in the back end and do all that stuff. But I took the course, and that's what we've developed at One Marketing. That's what we use at One Marketing, is using that formula, and it's brilliant. It's amazing. Jeff's blown away by it. It's awesome. So those people that go on to buy Jeff's product for the purposes of a local internet marketing agency, and yes, if you buy it through this link, we do get an affiliate commission for it, and we are going to give you the LMS sales kit. Its retail price is $197. If you buy it through the webinar, like I said, it's 97 bucks. And you're also going to get one-on-one consulting with me to get this system set up specifically for your agency and to help you write your story of your sequence. Okay? I don't come cheap. It's a $1,000 value right there. I'm in the business of helping local internet marketing businesses build their business and make a living from it, plain and simple. That's what I do. If I don't get results, I'm not in business. You want to look at our social proof? We've got all of this stuff in place. We've got the students that have built $50,000 a month businesses. You know, I can think of Josh from Florida that quit his job a little bit more than a year ago. It would be probably 14 months ago, and he's now billing over $47,000 a month in local internet marketing services in his local area. Anyhow. So, yeah, boom, that's what you're going to get. I don't know what my time is. I just go on with this presentation, and I'm going to start to open the floor to some questions now. And, you know, we can go and take a look at some stuff if we need to. If we need to go and look at, what am I doing here? Where am I going? I don't know where I'm going. What do we want to see when we take questions? But anyhow, I will open the question box up here. You've got the way to ask questions now. You can put your hand up, and I can put you live. as I go through. Oh, good. We have good retention. A couple of people. So we got a couple of hands up. And what do we got for questions in the question box? You can type questions in as well. Okay, one Manjit says, you know, I just checked, the blueprint is not available. It's a sales video. You must have already opted in at some point in time on his list. If you haven't gotten it, you can always email me directly, scottg@localmarketingsource.com. I'm not going to not hold back. Asking if this is being recorded. Yes, it's being recorded, but these questions are not being recorded, so what we're going to go through today, you won't hear just the presentation that I did earlier. Darren's asking, what's the link to the webinar today? You can just, if you really want to watch that for my agency, you can go to my agency's website right here. Let me move a couple of things. You can click on the free webinars link. You can register for today's webinar, Tuesday, September 18th. Here's the webinar registration. I'm going to put it into the box here, and I'm also going to send it out to everyone in the chat right now. So you can click on this if you want. Anybody that's on today's call, there's nothing on that webinar that you could possibly buy because we're selling internet marketing services. In fact, I'm inviting competition, but that's the way I roll. Come check out how we sell it. Okay, Shelton as well, you got that. Eric, yes. Gary, God, okay, you guys, I'm sending you guys to get something, and it's going to a video. That's on Jeff's end. That shouldn't have been set up that way, but we will just email me directly. I'll send you the PDF. That was unanticipated. Okay, Brian says, what if my agency is already launched? Well, Brian, we implemented this and started the rollout out a little over 18 months ago. My agency had been in business for multiple years. I had over 200 clients at that point in time. You're in a much better position if your agency is already launched. That's exactly where you ultimately want to be. You're just going to do what we would call a what am I looking for? Inventory assessment of your business. Identify what you already have and what you don't have. Ali, thanks for the nice words. Oh, Terry says the blueprint is available under the video. Thanks, Terry. You know, Jeff is changing a few different things here. Those people that have their hands up, I'm going to get to you live in just 1 second. You know, Jack is saying, you know, if I'm just starting out my agency, you know, what is the best product to start off with, and what would be a logical sequence to your products and to better my business? This obviously is an advanced product, you know, buy and local launch formula. Jack, I'm not here to sell my accelerated program. That's my flagship. That's my greatest thing I've ever created in my entire life, as far as business is concerned. I am extremely passionate about that product, and I put tremendous time and effort into it. Basically, it's a blueprint of my agency at a high scholarly level. It's not something that you're going to buy and promise you to get rich quick. I unveil all of my systems, my processes. You get my proposals, you get my working documents. There's over 60 management files, and I walk you through. You're going to spend a couple of months. I mean, you've got to treat this like a university, college level course. We have a back-end membership support for it. We've got an online forum that you can ask questions. We have live faculty calls. I have a Skype group that you can go and ask our people questions at any time of day, all day long. It's just an amazing community. You can go to local marketing source and get on our list and go through our sequence, or you can email me directly, scottg@localmarketingsource.com, or I'll get on the phone and answer any questions that you have if you're interested in that level of training. The price point's not cheap. It's not $100, but it's not $5,000 either. I believe that I could sell it for 50 grand and feel good about it for those people that actually implement it. The amount of time and effort that's put into that is really there. So it's you know, you could probably assume what the price points are, but it's like, I don't know, $1,500. No, $1,794 is the price, I believe. But of course, you get all the guarantees and all that stuff along with it. And for those people that are serious about this business, it works. Is this a process that can be accomplished through automated webinars? Robert, that's a great question. Yeah, there's no reason why it can't be. We do have automated webinars in other businesses. I haven't tested automated webinars with the local business model. Am I going to test it? Absolutely. It's just we haven't implemented the technology, and it's such new technology that it's been rolled out elsewhere. What I think about it, I don't think it's going to work as well. People can see through the dark. If you try to pass off a live webinar and it's automated, they see through it. And the other thing is I like to get in live questions, and once you start to get the live questions, like we've got like 50 or 60 businesses on today's webinar signed up, and I like to go through the email addresses and find out the domain names and where did this person come from, and go and check out their LinkedIn. That stuff fires me up. I want to find out how qualified my leads are. And today's webinar, I got really qualified leads on it. And you know, when you start getting these doctors that are asking questions at the end of that webinar, those are huge buying signals. So the following day, you know, we're trying to identify who the hot leads are in these live webinars. We'll get on top of these people on the telephone. And once you get people on the telephone, that's where your closing rates go through the roof. And I told you I was selling a $2,000 training product, and I'd like to get on the phone, right? How many of these quote-unquote so-called gurus will do that? Well, you make that decision. Of course, I know my closing rate increases when I get on the telephone with my prospective students. They hear me and they understand that I'm genuine, or at least I really feel like I'm genuine from my heart. I really want to help these businesses grow. I'm there for the long haul. Well, you want to get people on the phone. So that's why I don't know if the automated webinars are going to completely work. Is your site down? Oh, no, just slow. We're running off of Amazon S3. We've got very high bandwidth. That's usually a good indicator of traffic. Okay, Gary, you're sending me an email. That's good. Brian, how do I get 200 clients? I have like 15. Work hard. That's the answer. Can I send out emails to businesses without being spammy? You know, Joe K. That's pretty hard to accomplish, my friend. If you're sending an email out and you are saying, hey, Dr. Johnson, I was on your website, da-da-da-da-da-da, and I noticed you didn't rank very well for the search phrase, you know, chiropractor in Chicago, in this area on this date, period. I'm located 7 miles from you, and I'd love to be able to come and meet with you. Okay, that's not sounding spammy. That's sending an email out of the blue. Other than that, it's difficult. Ali says, you know, I own it, PLF, and it's just awesome. I've modeled my entire business after it. That's fantastic. And me too. It's great. Yeah. Sean asking, how do you perform an online analysis? Is it a program? That's my SEO sales trail. Go and look at my webinar. It's a 1-hour webinar. I go through the entire process. Of course, at the end, you've got a 5-minute sales pitch to buy this $97 product. If you don't want to buy it, that's fine. I promise you, you're going to get value in that free webinar. to learn the online analysis. You just go to my website, scott-gallagher.net. I think I can go there right now. And you click on, I got to move stuff around because I have stuff that you can't see here. Webinars. And just click on this webinar right here, Explosive Sales and Local Marketing. When you register for this webinar here, by the way, we're talking about automated webinars, guys. This is us testing an automated webinar sequence. This is, it comes across as a live webinar, but it's actually recorded. But I promise you there's great value in that webinar. Scott, what's the average price point? My average client value is about $1,800 per month. We don't go anything less than $1,000, and our objective is to identify clients that are $3,000 a month or more and earn the right up to them. You can't just walk into somebody and get $3 grand a month. Scott, what kind of email open rate are you getting? Are you doing anything special to increase email open rates and deliverability? We're always testing. I mean, email open rates are a variety of different reasons. The biggest factor that influences your email open rate once you've built a relationship is that relationship and the value that you offer somebody over time. The next thing is your title. And you've got to have a compelling title for them to be able to get them to open. But you've got to remember that you've created a system that, you know, they're opting in to a page like this that you guys are looking at. Now I got to move my question box one more time. You know, and then they're clicking a button. And then they're going to go to a page that, you know, ultimately says, thank you. Go check your email. You know, thank you. We've sent your special package to you in your email. And then they'll go to their email box and see the report. And this is the email that was sent out to them that we talk about, the sequence. Remember that real marketing we were talking about in the presentation? This is what they get, and here they can download the report, and here's the report that they can download, their top 10 strategies. And this is a report that we put together. So you've just seen it in action live right in front of you. And when they get their top 10 strategies, they go down to the bottom. You know, what are you going to do? Well, you got to claim your profile. Here's all, you know, here's how you find out what your profile is. Here's your best practices for profiles, reviews. Here's your review acquisition system that we give people. You know, social media, what we're going to do and what are the best practices for social media. Citations, what are citations? Public sources. Data providers, review sites to get citations, unorthodox citations. You guys ever thought about hosting a weather station to get a citation? Yeah, there's a lot of unorthodox citations. I mean, this is just a short list, by the way, guys. Our agency, we go to great degree. Different video, the implications of video, PR, you know, this is real marketing. How are we going to deal with local newspapers, local free publications, Chamber of Commerce, local colleges, you know, on-the-page SEO, that's that report. You know, the blog, what's the purpose of a blog, and different links, how we're going to get external links. We talk about link building, right? I mean, that's all the way down at number 9, but it's still important where we get links from. You know, and of course, systems of measurement. And then right at the end, another call to action. Hey, you're going to get your free online analysis. Here in this report that they get, we're also trying to create, you know, online marketing analysis. This is what you're going to get. Go here. Go check it out. Boom, when they click on this link, it drives them right to my online analysis page. Here on this online analysis, simple video you guys can watch right now. So you can't hear it right now. I don't have all the stuff hooked up. This was just done in PowerPoint. Really easy to do. Really, really easy to create. And You know, we could do a much better video. But, all right. So I got some questions here of some live people. Hopefully your hands didn't go down because I talked. That was kind of rude of me. And they did. Man, gee. Good question. I guess his question was answered. Nonetheless, I'm going to give it a couple more minutes here, guys, if there's some additional questions. We get some people on the line. Don't be shy. This is not being recorded. Nobody else is going to ever hear you again. This is your opportunity to ask some questions relating to what we were talking about. Got a lot of people still on the line. I know there's still some people that are interested in this. People are interested in hearing answers. It's like when I do my faculty calls. We get a lot of people on the line, and they just don't ask questions, but they like to hear what everybody else says. And when somebody does ask a question, it's like, oh, yeah, you know, I can relate. I remember that. What is the price of PLF? I don't know what it's priced at. I don't think the price has gone up at all. The cart does open today. We'll have to go and take a look at it. But Jeff is a real stickler about his price. It's going to be around the $1,500 to $2,000 mark. And it's probably got 30 or 40 hours of training. And we've moved to live training, and that's where I just love. I mean, we're talking. He's one of the only gurus I know that gets on a whiteboard and does stuff. It's so much better than just PowerPoint presentations and whatnot. Okay, Gary's talking here. It's $2,000. 1997, or 6 payments of $395 a piece. We have some questions. Any more questions? And if you guys are going to buy it, anybody that's on this line right now, buy it through our link. Like I said, you're going to get that consulting, you're going to get the course, and one thing that's, remember we talked about value, we're also going to give you access to our membership. It's an unannounced bonus. I guess I'm announcing it now. That's going to give you access to the forum, my live faculty calls once a week. These are very, very intimate calls. Whatever it takes to help your business, we'll get into it.
Visit localmarketingsource.com for additional resources focused on online marketing for local businesses.